Hey everyone, I'm back with another transit talk, and I feel a little bit guilty because I feel like we've been talking about very difficult transits lately, and this one is no exception, okay? Today we're going to talk about Saturn square natal Pluto. Saturn, of course, is always bringing structure, limitations, restriction. It brings meaning to the lives that we're living. Like, you work hard for something, you get it in return, and you have that to show and say for yourself, and then we feel good about ourselves. So, of course, it's a great thing. And also Saturn is one of the most predominant energies in our lives collectively. I can definitely say so for myself personally. Yes, I'm also a Plutonian. I have Pluto in the first house. Saturn is literally squaring my identity at a core level, and this is not simple to deal with. So I wrote a poem, but it's pretty sad, so I'm going to start with the other things that I have to say about it, not to scare you away. So, of course, Pluto wants transformation, expansion, and rejuvenation for our souls. Saturn wants heavy structure and order. Pluto wants new beginnings, permanent endings. Saturn wants to limit and restrict. It wants boundaries and commitment. So during Saturn square Pluto, we're dealing with revelations about our limitations, fears, and sense of responsibility on a soul level. So what is the journey of our soul? What are we here to do? Where is our north node? Where is our sun sign? Where is our MC? What do we have going on? What is Pluto doing? What does Pluto want for us? We have to consider these things and expect there to be some hustle and bustle and rustling of feathers in these regions. I had this image of Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones in my head, and he said, "Yes, you followed your heart and burned for it. You are a victim, just like every other human on earth. You followed your heart. You ended up not being the best, not having the most success. All while you tried your best. You've been nursing that wound long enough, and now I'm asking you to be stronger than you are now. Not only stronger, but smarter, more experienced, and more talented. And the thing is, you can do it. I'm going to ask you to start over, maybe several times, or you can slowly kill yourself, repeating cycle after cycle of failure." So I'm going to give you an example of this. I have a Leo midheaven. So I may not successfully get a job bussing tables because unless I'm playing somebody bussing tables on TV, right? Because it's just not going with me, like I'm studying astrology. I know astrology. So why in my right mind did I think that certain professions could work? Right? It's like not everybody can be everything. And the thing is, part of this transit, it's really, changing the way I see myself and my identity. But first it has to strip the identity. So I'm going to be humbled and brought down. And the thing is, then I had a new revelation as to what humble meant. So advice is to draw back the projections that you have placed on the world based on your upbringing, what you were told was good and bad. For me, being humble is not acting quiet or not understanding your worth. For me, it's not about toning down your own energy. It's just recognizing the human in yourself and the human in others, and that we cannot do everything. That's not possible. We can do some stuff really well, and that should be the focus. We have some certain soul intentions, and Saturn is going to help bring meaning to this. Saturn is going to clarify where we should be directing ourselves so that we're not wasting so much time and doing things half-ass. And Saturn to me said, "Girl, you're stronger than this and you can be better than this, but you're going to have to show some commitment." So understand your humanness and your human limitations. Observe it in yourself and others. Being humble is not about being insecure. It's understanding that you're a mortal human. So another advice is that you should understand that societal issues are societal issues, but personal failure is still personal failure. And unfortunately, it is your fault. And people will see it as your fault. All this stuff that I'm saying to you is not really me talking, and it's not how I want to treat you, to be honest. To me, this feels like what Saturn wants to say to us while this is happening. And so I'm not victim blaming you. I'm not assigning all the blame to you and that it's all your problem. But right now, I feel like you're hearing this from the inside, if I'm not mistaken. And it is emotional and hard. I'm going through it now, and it does feel like, you know, people are against you and outside forces have all this power over us and all of that. And while that is true, we can take it. We can process it, and we can do better for ourselves and for our soul's purpose, our soul contract, our soul drive to stay in integrity. You will find that if you do anything that is outside of your soul contract or soul integrity or whatever, it's not going to work. You're going to get punished. You're going to have to yeet off of it, and you will not receive any mercy. Yeah? Be prepared for it. I recently said that following your heart is not enough. You also have to follow your soul. And luckily for you, you have astrology to tell you what your soul wants. If you're doing something that causes you to feel immobilized, well, I mean, the thing is, I feel like that word immobilized is key. We're going to feel immobilized in the ways in which need to be adjusted. So that might feel like everything. If it feels immobile, it's got to change. It's got to come down. Something has to give. Understand that failure and things close to failure are just, they're lessons, okay? You may be embarrassed right now, but that's okay. Once you have this new direction in place, and Saturn is, kind of has its hands on Pluto, like roughening it up, you're going to be so strong and so precise in your meaning, path, direction, soul drive, that your best will finally be good enough. It will. And I have to tell this to myself every day to get through this time. Eventually you will be good enough to do this. Eventually you'll be good enough to make it. Yes. Keep that in mind.